Is Bitcoin about to go parabolic, and is XRP going to follow it very shortly? These are the questions I'm going to quickly address in this video. So we're at a really pivotal point right now for Bitcoin. We could be forming a potential head and shoulders here. As you can see, there's an argument for something like this. However, I am in the camp that we're about to go parabolic, and I'm going to explain why. Just before that, I do think if we break the level that we're at now, FOMO is going to kick into the market big time. I wrote this thread and I'm going to go through it. Basically, in October of last year, the 22nd of October, I made a plea, and the plea was for everybody to have a look at crypto because the risk to reward was insane at that time. Bitcoin was at about $18,000. It was prior to the FTX collapse, which then we saw lows of 15,500. But I was pretty close to the bottom when I made that call. Now, obviously, we're trading up at around $30,000 for Bitcoin a year later, even though all the bears have been screaming for lower lows. I was saying, look, have a look at this because of the risk reward, and you can have a look at exactly what I said right here in this thread. The next ever plea that I did was almost a year later, around 4 weeks ago, which is where I said this. I honestly believe we're about to move into a parabolic phase for crypto and Bitcoin. Been calling for all-time highs since the end of 2023. Obviously, it's a wild call to make at this point with just 3 months left of the year, but something in the markets doesn't add up to me. All this can be found in my newsletter, guys. As I've said, it's free, the weekly insight on Substack. So Grayscale and the SEC are coming together this week to potentially discuss how they can convert Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. In this little clip here, if you want to go and watch that, you can see Gary Gensler talking about how they did not appeal the ruling of the judge to convert the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF, and how they have between 8 and 10 people who have applications for a spot Bitcoin ETF right now. At the same time, we're seeing Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, call Bitcoin and crypto a flight to quality. Times are super uncertain. Do people need to use something like Bitcoin to protect their wealth, or just escape the banking system in general, which to me looks like it could be on its knees, and we've seen things like Silvergate and Signature Bank, etc., have real issues and go bankrupt essentially. And at that time, Bitcoin actually rallied in price. So basically, the things that you need to catalyze a crypto bull run, one, in my opinion, is liquidity, and two is hype. We've been getting liquidity, unarguably, from the reverse repo market, unless it's just coincident that they have a inverse correlation. As reverse repo drops, Bitcoin's clearly been going up, and as Bitcoin dropped, that was when we started to see the top of the reverse repo market. Another thing I've been discussing is where can we get liquidity from, and the DXY is something for me that I have been saying for literally weeks. I comment on this every week in my newsletter, that I think the DXY is about to dump, and I've been wrong so far, but I was calling for potential manipulation. This could be Wyckoff distribution right here, and we could have the manipulation to the upside before a downside break. That's what I was calling for, with a potential head and shoulders that was forming on the 4 hourly, which currently is yet to break down, but also the head of the head and shoulders is actually at the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, which is a common area for a reversal. So my eyes are still on this potential play. Not only this, but at the same time, we have the most ever Bitcoin being held by strong hands. About 76% of people holding Bitcoin right now are people who've held it for over a year. That means that essentially we are fighting for a small amount of supply in Bitcoin. So that's essentially the fundamental sides of things with a little bit of TA in there. So now more of a technical side. I've been saying to everybody that I think this is coming. On September the 28th, I talked about this, a potential extended V bottom here for Bitcoin, which is where we see a V bottom formation, and then a range accumulate on the neckline of the V bottom, pulling back to test that range and then pushing it on for that recovery. And on a shorter term time frame, on October the 9th, I said that I thought Bitcoin was going to come for some sort of pullback. I gave the 3 levels I was looking at and also pointed out the open interest, basically saying I thought there would be a short-term flush. Then we had the news of the war. With Israel and Palestine, and this happened next. As we didn't see the flush so quickly, I basically said I'm revising my bottom target to say I think we're either going to reverse here or maybe come down to this level and then reverse. The level that I spoke about specifically was exactly reached. We then continued to bounce from this zone. I looked at the RSI and I also looked at this level of support, which was in fact this level right here, guys. If you're looking at the current Bitcoin chart, boom, down into this nice little level, bounce out and look towards a push to the upside, as I was saying. We obviously got the fake Bitcoin ETF news, but then I feel that there's something more to that. I also did a tweet talking about that we were in peak fear, basically saying that the FTX and Tether and Binance FUD were back. US CPI is holding at 3.7, potential Russian cyber attacks, 2 wars, Gemini potentially having outages. Everything feels doom and gloom, but something else I felt was on the horizon. As I said, Bitcoin popped out and is battling with 30k. I'm personally looking towards 33 to 35,000 plus. This is because people are loading up on short positions, or liquidity pools are opening up above the price action, and they normally act like magnets. Around 80% of crypto trades are by bots pushing the price into areas of high liquidity, and these are opening up and more leverage is being applied above, basically trying to short the price. And I think that's where the price is going to go, basically. We also, even on the bullish case, are saying that if we do get an ETF, it's going to come early next year, and all-time highs won't come until after the halvening. That's what even the most bullish people are saying. As soon as we start to break some fundamental levels, I think if we start to break 33 to 35,000, we get above there, people are going to start FOMOing back into the rally. And then after that, that's when we can see an influx of capital coming from Bitcoin into other alts. Specifically, I'm looking at XRP as well, the only other crypto that has complete legal clarity in the US. And if we look at something on a technical level here for XRP, so this is on the 4-hour time frame. This is actually Bitcoin's price in relation to XRP on the 4-hour. As you can see, Bitcoin heads up first, and then XRP follows. On most of the recent push-ups, Bitcoin's taken the first action, and a little while later, anywhere between like 20 and 30 days later, we've started to see XRP follow that same suit. So Bitcoin then moved up before the Ripple XRP decision from the SEC, in regards to the SEC, when Judge Torres came out and said that XRP was not a security. Bitcoin moved up 23 days before, XRP pumped 23 days later. XRP moves down with Bitcoin, however, yet on the next push-up that we're just having now, this potential parabolic rise here for Bitcoin, XRP took a little while to move, about 3 to 5 days on this first little movement, but now we're consolidating. And I personally believe that anywhere between now and the next 20 to 30 days, XRP is going to have some sort of parabolic expansion. If Bitcoin hits this 33 to 35k region and a FOMO rally happens, Bitcoin absolutely rips. We get a Bitcoin ETF. All these things could come very quickly. I've been calling for an all-time high for Bitcoin by the end of the year. XRP is going to follow that. Probably do more percentage outperformance, but come a little bit later. So what I'm doing right now, I've got a long on Bitcoin. I'm going to close that long around 33.5, 35k, and I'm going to lump on XRP, guys. I'm going to lump on XRP. If we look even here, like in the past, is on a daily time frame now. Bitcoin moves, XRP moves 32 days later, and then Bitcoin consolidates, XRP consolidates, and then XRP then moves 68 days later to push towards its all-time highs when we were actually in that lawsuit with the SEC. And we've already looked at these time periods. So guys, basically what I'm saying is I think Bitcoin's about to rip. You've seen why, I've shown you why. I've got, again, more in depth on the newsletter in long form text. You can also look at the tweet that I put out yesterday, a long thread about all my reasonings. And then I also think this money's going to cycle into XRP, and XRP is going to blow people's faces off. I genuinely believe all of those things are going to happen, and they're going to happen faster than people think. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and share it with a friend. Peace up, A-Town down, as I should say.